Bone Physiotherapy, here to show you a couple of release techniques or pelvis correction techniques. So when we're talking about the pelvis, we're looking at the innominate bones here and here. We have the tailbone that sits in between them. There are very strong ligaments at the tailbone, and all the colors on this pelvis and leg bone are where the muscles attach or insert into the pelvis and the hip. So when I look at the pelvis bones and how the pelvis can get rotated a little bit, it's very subtle. People, the tailbone only moves 11 millimeters, very forwards and backwards. You can see it sits in here between the pelvic bones. It needs to, when I stand on one leg, I need this to lock down and become stable. So when I stand on one leg and bring, let's say, this knee up, or I'm running, what happens is this pelvic bone needs to rotate a little bit backwards, and the ligaments do that for us, and lock down. If it doesn't lock down and it gets pulled forwards or stays in a forwards position, then it becomes unstable. And what happens is then our muscles, usually the glute muscles, the hamstring muscles, and sometimes those inner thigh muscles, work extra hard to try to stabilize the pelvis. So what are we going to do about it? Well, often what happens is you might get pain in around here, your SI joint, but it's actually the tight muscles at the front that are making that pelvis stay in a forwards position. So we have to release that. And the quadricep muscle, that big muscle at the front, has a little bit of attachment to the front of the hip as well as the front of the pelvis bone. So what are we going to do about it? Well, one, you can roll or massage out your quadricep muscle. So you can just take the heel of your hand. I don't like to use your thumbs too much, but you can take the heel of your hand and rub up and down there. Okay. You can take a rolling pin or one of those rollers that they can sell and just roll up and down. I don't have mine right now. You can take a foam roller and roll this out, and I've shown that in other videos. You can use a plunger if it's fascially tight and just put some oil on the plunger and plunge up. It's like that fascial release technique. But the exercises to do a little bit of pelvic correction are more of a contract relax. And one of these, it's a muscle energy technique. For me, with my pelvis, and a lot of it is by feel. So if this one's forward and this one's a little bit backwards and I want to bring this back, I might look at crossing my left leg over my right and squeezing my legs together. So it's just doing this left over right, squeeze the legs together, hold and relax. And do a few of those and see how it feels. Now for me, even though it's the tight quadricep muscle and you would think it's pulling forward, it feels better for me, and it feels like a better correction to do it the opposite way. So to have my right leg over my left leg and squeeze and pull together. And you can just tell, it's like this just feels like it is engaging. So this is engaging my quadricep muscle here on the left side, my hamstring on the right side. And what this is doing is I'm tightening my quadricep muscle, and then I relax. And I tighten and I relax. And it just feels like it is actually bringing my pelvis back into a better alignment. And if that feels good afterwards, again, you should feel like you're able to stand and do this without really wobbling all over the place, without overstraining your muscles. The other technique you can do to contract relax is to put one leg up on a stool or a chair, because when I bring my knee towards my chest, my pelvis bone on the side that's coming up comes backwards, a little bit like this. So in that position, and then I'll tighten, and I'm tightening my hamstring, my buttock muscle, my quadricep muscle. I'm just really tightening everything down and then relaxing. And then squeeze and hold, and you can count till 10 when you're doing it, and then relaxing. And if you have poor balance here, make sure you're hanging onto a chair. So you tighten, relax. And again, it should feel good to do that. When I do the other side, it really doesn't, it actually feels worse. My pelvis doesn't like this. Now I'm getting a good stretch in through this front iliopsoas muscle when I do this, but it just doesn't feel as good. It doesn't feel I'm getting the same correction as when I do it with the other leg. So you have to a little bit play around with that and see what feels good and what feels right for you. But that is a way to do a little bit of muscle energy work to correct your pelvis, especially at a time that you don't have your physiotherapist on hand. So it's Wendy Bowen, physiotherapy, teaching you how to treat yourself. Thanks for watching.
Straight shooter, real good looker, they say. If you could see what I see, it would take your breath away. If I could only find the words to say, well, I would make you mine, I would make you mine today. 'Cause I would make